my past self is judging me. Yeah, I got glasses. Stigmatism? I hardly know him. But anyways, I made a 1-week short film. And I also documented my process of making the 1-week short film. This isn't really an educational guide as to how to make a 1-week short film. It's just how I made a 1-week short film. But if you're interested in making short-term animated projects, or just kind of curious as to how I made the film, there might be something here for you. Naturally, as a well-rounded individual, I started this project at a very reasonable hour.
It is currently 2 a.m. in the morning. Technically, that means it's Sunday, which means it's the beginning of the week, which means I can start on the Bug Anthology week. I am up because I'm still adjusting to time zones after coming back from Japan, and I cannot sleep because I can't stop thinking about the ideas that I have for this film. So generally, I want to make a short film about, it's like butterflies in your stomach, but like silly and a little horrifying. It'll start with like these caterpillars crawling into his mouth, and then they like form a chrysalis in his stomach, and then he keeps puking out these butterflies, and then when it comes to the confession, it all comes out. Sort of inspired by just, I don't know, the general feeling of having a crush on someone, and how it like the kind of weirdness and craziness of it all, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's kind of the idea that I have so far. I think it could be really fun. I woke up at 11 a.m. today. I think that's the latest I've ever woken up, like, in my life. Updates, I've been trying to figure out the best way to go about animating this, because I do only have a week to do this, so I have to be, sort of, like, economical with the way that I'm animating. What we did with the, Let's Just Play Mini Golf, or the mini golf short film that I made with my friends, where it looks a little bit, it kind of looks drawn frame by frame, but it's actually puppeted in Adobe Animate, and then I added like a wiggling effect on Adobe After Effects to make it look more like hand-drawn, but like the trick to that method is just that like everything looks really graphical, everything's like very designy, so it works with like kind of the choppy, stiff movements that they have. But when I drew the concept art, I really liked how like wobbly the lines are, and how kind of messy the style was, and how like stretchy and schlorpy it could be. So I didn't want to stiffen it up with any of these like shortcuts, so I figured the best way to go about it would probably just to draw each frame. So based on the concept art that I drew, I whipped up this quick just like animation test I made just to see if I could capture the aesthetic that I wanted in a quick amount of time. So I think this is a good method. I went into this straight on with no rough animation, and basically just using the keyframes as like the sort of storyboards, I would say. And I think one of the benefits of doing a musical short film is the fact that like you already have audio that's just laid out for you. So it adds like a limit to your storyboarding, and limits are actually really good sometimes. It can help make the process easier, so I don't have to think as much about the timing of each scene and stuff like that. Something I think that I want to do with this short film is taking the observational sketching approach, where like when you're observationally sketching, you don't exactly know how much time you have when you're sketching, because like the thing you're drawing might move, or you might need to move, or just stuff in the real world kind of happens. So I kind of want to do that with the short film, because I do know how much time I have for the short film, but I don't know how long things are going to take for me to do, necessarily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the approach where at every stage of the short film, I need to make sure that, like, I have a finished looking thing first. So my main priority is I'm going to make the entire film as quickly and efficiently while still making it look finished, which would probably look like no backgrounds and like keyframes of the characters, but at least it'll look kind of comic booky and tell the full story, you know? After that, I can start adding more frames and making them, like making a background to give the characters context in, stuff like that. So I think that's the best approach to go about making this 1 week short film. Here are some character designs that I kind of whipped up, mainly for color picking when it comes to filling in the colors for animation. We've got the classic short shirt with long pants paired with long shirt with short pants duo going on, just to give it a variety. Also, for the main romantic interest, I wanted them to sort of kind of resemble the butterflies, apart from being mostly purple, which I think I'm gonna have the butterflies be purple. I think their hair is in the shape of a butterfly, and that's kind of the best I could really do at this point, to be honest. I actually made a really basic timeline using the film schedule that you can get on my Gumroad, link in the description. I'm hoping that this won't be too squishy. I hope that I can do these and that I'm not being delusional. What I'm doing now is sort of just doodling the character and kind of just like getting to know drawing the main character, because the more you know about your like drawing your character, the faster and more accurately you can draw them like down the line. So I know this is not exactly how it works, but doing the math here, I should be doing about 7 hours of just straight animation every day for 3 days. So I think that's pretty doable. So Mate just sent over the sort of musical sketch, or just a snippet of the musical sketch. But it sounds so cool. We were sort of talking about like a mix between Ginger Root and Steven Universe, and I think that this nails that vibe so well. Something I didn't really record about was how I met up with my music person Mate. Hello.
What's up?
Yo.
Basically, Mate was making the music at the same time I was making the animation, and hopefully by this plan we would be able to align it together so that we'd both finish at the same time, and thus 1 week film.
Okay, so right now it is around 5 a.m. in the morning, because I could not fall asleep long enough, but that's okay. I'm starting the morning off strong with some color labeling. Woo! This is just a way for me to organize the song into different parts, just visually for my brain. I'm not gonna document the entire thing, but so far what I can think of right now, I'm just starting from the first part where the sort of singing starts, where it goes like da 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 da. I can feel them crawling closer every moment. I can feel them inching closer every moment. Does that make sense? Inching closer every moment. I can feel it creeping over deep inside me. Maybe? I can feel it. Something deep inside me. It's like a in the night. Trouble sleeping with the thoughts of him inside me. Have a feeling creeping closer to remind me of all the reasons why he
is on my mind. I can feel the crawling, sprawling all inside me. I wish I didn't mind the
I just finished the bare bones, and by bare bones I mean like barely storyboard worthy amounts of keyframes. I've been working for 4 hours straight, and my eyes are starting to feel strained, which is not good. So I need to look at very distant things for prolonged periods of time.
These butterflies won't fly anywhere. I might retime that last one.
And with that, at 11 p.m., I have finished coloring in all of the main keys. So right now, my short film kind of looks like a background-less comic. I'm hoping tomorrow I can just spend the day to sort of flesh out the movements and maybe add some backgrounds. We'll see. Of all the reasons why he is on my mind. So it's 2 p.m., which means I might have been working about 4 or 5 hours straight. I think I should take a break because I do feel a little bit dead. But on the brighter side of news, I have reached a point where I think I can actually call it animation. Woo! One of the hard things about doing behind the scenes stuff is that I don't know how much I'm supposed to record about my process. I also don't know if I have enough of like stuff in the making of this to make it anything. Much like the entire process of this film, we'll see how it goes. This is just sort of a look at my desk. As you can see, I'm watching Drawfee while drawing. But now that I have finally gotten some sort of finished animation look, it's time to move on to the backgrounds. So I've just spent the last 5 or so hours just making all the backgrounds for the short film. Taking a strange abstract approach for the most part with these. One, because it's easier to draw than actual backgrounds. But also I feel like since it is such a weird conceptual film, I've got this sort of drippy, paint smeary purplish effect, just to sort of get at that feeling of something creeping down and kind of spreading and getting all gooped up and covering everything. Yeah, and there's just a bunch of other backgrounds in here with various decisions I made that may or may not have intentions behind them. 28 backgrounds. So yeah, hopefully they turn out good. To me, every creative project is a race against time. And not necessarily because of the deadline, but more importantly, the amount of time I can spend on this project before I hate it. And there are 2 ways I can go about this at this point. I can either work on something else, or I can suck it up and just keep working on it. And see how much I can push myself until I really, really don't want to work on it. I have a finished product, but it could be more finished. The keyframe, the extra frames part is unnecessary. The live action backgrounds are definitely necessary, and the compositing can be as complex as I really want it to be, honestly. So I would say that I am in a good space where I feel confident that I could finish this film by the end of Saturday. So I've decided maybe it could be cool to try to record just me drawing, creating a full frame. So he turns that and then he starts walking forward. So let's see. Maybe a little wary. maybe not wary. Maybe this looks too sad. I want his head to sort of go up, and then his hair will react like going down. I use onion skin all the time, even though, you know, sometimes they'll say like, oh, you gotta get used to not using onion skin, but I can't. I need my onion skin, especially when his like head turns. I have to play a little game of like, whoa, when will the dongle change? It's sort of Mickey Mouse logic. You know how like Mickey Mouse's ears are always like very prominent no matter what angle you look at him. Oh, excuse me. Anyways, so I'm gonna have this arm move back, and then meanwhile the other shoulder is going to be brought over. And then I gotta make sure that for the sake of coloring, that there are no gaps outside of the canvas. I'm gonna have his arm out there. Does that look weird? That it could be like a stylistic thing, I guess. And then I think that's pretty good. He's gonna go low, and he's gonna start walking, and then it will lead into the part where he's actually walking. So let's color pick that over. Sorry, my hand's drifting. Yeah, I might do maybe one more frame of him going down. Maybe not. Maybe I'm too tired for that. It is Friday at about 11 p.m. I just finished what I would call actual animation. Yeah, thank you. I know. It's pretty incredible. If I had to submit this version, I wouldn't complain that much. But I'm sure a little bit of compositing polishing will make it even nicer. Okay, so the live action backgrounds in the short film were a bit of an experiment, because I had no idea how it would look. I had no idea how it would turn out. And while I was filming, I didn't use any reference. I just kind of imagined it in my head and then shot the filming from there. I didn't even film where I wanted to film. I wanted to film at a grassy place. But then I figured that having foliage would actually put context in the sky, if that makes sense. It's not just a blue void. And also I didn't want to walk up the hill because it was too hot. But it turned out really well, I think. I'm really shocked at how good it actually turned out. I was expecting it to be way off, but then I'd be oh, it's stylistic, but beyond just being stylistic, it's also I think the illusion works pretty well, which is awesome. So the way I approached lighting this was actually kind of interesting, something I haven't really done before. But basically, what's actually happening here is it's a linear burn of the background. So if I turn this to normal, and raise the opacity, it's actually and I undo the track matting. It's just the background, and then I blur it up, and then I put it inside the characters, just over the characters, and then I change some of the settings, and then that way, the background's lighting will always sort of affect the characters. You can kind of see the darker parts of the forest are actually making the characters a little dark, but it kind of looks like the spotlightiness of the forest. But yeah, that's how I achieved that sort of lighting. It's actually just the background. Right now I'm waiting for the After Effects to render. I might add in a few frames, because I still can at this point, but chances are probably not. It was a lot of fun. Definitely a few challenges here and there, but less challenges than I thought. Currently on a Saturday, nearing noon, not even, and we're pretty much almost done with the film. Basically stress-free. I hate it. But yeah, tried a few new techniques. Did frame by frame hand-drawn animation, which I had not done in a solid while, and I forgot how fun it was to do it. I think it's I think it's almost done rendering. My computer is whirring.
And that's sort of how I made the short film. Thank you so much to Haley, who organized the Bug Anthology event. It was a lot of fun to just be able to work on a project with a community of other animators. Please, after this, check out the short film if you haven't already, and also check out some of the other bug-themed animated films. There's a lot of really cool ones, and you should watch all of them. If you made it this far in the video, comment, "Hi Matthew, I really like your glasses. They look sexy on you, and you're going to get a boyfriend." Be sure to check out some of my other videos. I make other things. Believe it or not. Thank you.